Coming at me, I wonder who does it. They can't see the vision, boy, they must be out of focus. That's a real hot album, homie. I wonder who wrote.
Guys, so this is basically now guys, if you've seen now guys, I actually am going to be having two different intros on different of my videos. I'm gonna be having a new intro with my recent, YouTube page, and an intro that I've had, that last what if I did. So yeah, basically I will be uploading part 2 of what if what if Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was in the MCU, and I also will be uploading part 1 to a new what if. I'm doing what if, what if Blade was in the MCU. Now I really want to see how that would happen, what would happen if Blade was in the MCU. Now for that what if, I'm basically just going to be placing Blade in the beginning, like he's going to have another movie. I'm pretty sure Blade only had 3 movies, so he's going to have a 4th movie following the events 4 months before the Avengers movie happened. So pretty much he'll be near the end of the movie, he'll be recruited by, SHIELD, and basically he's going to go to, the MCU. But let's get back into this what if. What if Deku was in a vampire and werewolf school? Now, guys, basically, in the comments, what was XX Galaxy Universal? She pretty much, whatchamacallit, she corrected me saying that she's a girl, so yeah. Sorry. I'm really sorry. So basically, let's get into it. So, I last thought for Deku, went back home, or back to the house, with Bakugo and Kirishima. Now, Kirishima and Bakugo go to school the next day, and pretty much Deku's hero costume is basically not going to be anything that special, but it is going to be pretty cool. Now, I'll get into Deku's hair costume a little bit later, but for now, let's just talk a little bit more about the what if, and I'll get back into the what if. So basically, Deku, will basically be shipped with somebody. Now, originally my ship was going to be the ghost girl from UA, class 1B. Okay, so yeah, I wanted him to get shipped with that girl, or the ginger swap of that shadow quirk guy from class 1A. Class 1B. So basically, Deku's going to be shipped with an OC character that Galaxy Universal pretty much made. Now, I haven't looked up that character, but I am going to be introducing that character in part 3. So yeah, so basically Deku goes to school and they get ready. All Might pops into the class and pretty much explains to the class they're doing, hero training. Not quirk assessment, says quirks don't exist in this universe. Only mystical creatures and, magic exist. So pretty much they get started, and pretty much I forgot to mention, now I did decide what I'm gonna turn some of the characters in UA into. Ochako's going to be a witch. Froppy is going to be Froppy's going to be a ogre with frog abilities, and pretty much also, what does it call it? Also Jiro's going to, I think I explained Jiro's going to be a witch, but if I didn't, sorry guys. So basically, also, what was it again? It was somebody else. I already did Todoroki. And if you guys want to know, Todoroki's whole entire family is a generation of vampires. So yeah, and they're also a generation of vampires that are immune to fire. So yeah. So I think it was, Mineta. Yeah, Mineta is going to be a elf in this universe. Mineta is going to be an elf with the ability to shoot. And now Mineta's sticky balls are actually a part of his hair, but now they're green instead of, purple. And also when they're thrown, they explode, not just stick to items. They explode into a purple fiery, explosion. So yeah. So basically, he can use elf magic. Elf magic and witch magic are different types. They're equally the same amount of strength, but witch magic is more complicated and a little bit more powerful, just a teeny bit. And elf magic is a little bit more mystical and can't really be used to kill people that much. So you have to, like, train really hard to use elf magic. Anybody can use elf magic except vampires. Vampires can't learn any type of magic. But werewolves can and all other creatures can. But yeah. So basically they get ready and they get started. Deku is handed his hero costume, and Deku's hero costume is going to be, oh sorry guys, my dog is walking around the house. Deku's hero costume is basically going to be a white version of his original outfit in canon. Now, Deku's original outfit that his mother made for him. Deku made it himself, and basically the green is replaced with a white, and the white is replaced with a dark gray. And Deku also has a ghost logo, the Ghostbusters logo spray painted on the back of his outfit, So basically, Deku gets ready, and now multiple, Ghostbusters actually kind of existed 500 years before everybody in the world became vampires and werewolves, and all those things. So pretty much, Deku got ready and they get started. So basically, they get ready and they get started. Deku gets in his hero costume, and pretty much everybody compliments Deku on his hero costume. They get ready and they get started. So for this combat training, actually it's different this time. Everybody is 1v1 each other. Now, they wanted to know who's the strongest out of the whole entire, pretty much, class, so pretty much 4 people will be left, and those 4 people will fight, pretty much to the hardest they can until it's only 2 people left. Those 2 people will fight, and basically the last person standing will be one of the strongest people in UA. So yeah, so pretty much they get started, and we start off our 1v1s with Deku versus Ochaku. Ochaku uses a fire spell towards Deku, trying to burn him, but Deku faces to the floor and faces right behind Ochaku, grabs her by the hair, and pretty much chucks her into a freaking wall, knocks her out, like, in one foul swoop. Like, it straight up just yeets her into a wall. Like, it straight up yeets her, like, straight up. Pretty much, she gets knocked out. In the next match is Deku versus Kirishima. Kirishima gets ready, and he pretty much wolfs out. Kirishima's wolf form is pretty much cool as freak. Like, it's straight up awesome. Now, you probably wondering why I'm using freak. Well, it's YouTube. What do you expect? What, I want to cuss on YouTube. So, pretty much, Kirishima's wolf form is pretty cool looking. He gets ready, and pretty much Kirishima, gets, pumped up. He gets started, and Kirishima runs towards Deku at full speed. Deku goes for, a punch not phasing away, but he gets slashed into the face and gets thrown into a wall. Deku's confused, and pretty much, since Kirishima is like a dormant hybrid, because Kirishima's parents, were, vampires, but his uncle was a werewolf, and the werewolf gene dominated over Kirishima. Kirishima has the ability to use pretty much nullifying magic on only dead creatures or mystical creatures, like, warlocks or zombies, or, basically, well, including ghosts. So Deku can't phase through Kirishima's attacks. And also, Deku can't phase through Bakugo's attacks either. So basically, they get ready, and Deku can phase through Bakugo's attacks, but not, by Bakugo's full wolf form, his werewolf form. So pretty much, Kirishima goes for slash over slash, and Deku can cut and cut, but Deku's automatically extremely healing in seconds, because Deku's a ghost. He can just, heal from pretty much anything, because, well, he can't die. So, because he's already dead, so pretty much Deku gets thrown around like a rag doll. Eventually, Deku faces to the ground, faces right behind Kirishima, and pulls his tail so hard that Kirishima, falls down on his face. Deku grabs Kirishima by his, red mohawk in his wolf form, and pretty much starts, picking it up and slamming it back down, hitting Kirishima into the ground. Kirishima gets the upper hand, gets back up on his feet, and takes the chains off of his wrist and throws it straight towards Deku, tying up Deku. Now, I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention Kirishima's hero costume. Kirishima's hero costume is basically the same. Yeah, Kirishima's hero costume is basically exactly the same. But he actually has chains around his arms instead of, nothing. So, yeah. So, basically, Kirishima, after punch, Deku gets obliterated, but eventually Deku gets upper hand, grabs Kirishima by the snout, and pretty much phases him into the ground. Deku didn't even know that he can phase people into objects or phase them through objects like him. Kirishima's trapped into the ground, and pretty much, they had, after the match, after Kirishima, lost, Deku unfazed him through the ground and pretty much helped him up. So, Kirishima, and actually Kirishima didn't get Deku's help. He just transformed back into, human form because his wolf form took more space, so he could just, slide out of the hole his wolf form made when he was phased through the floor. So basically, for the next match, Deku versus Bakugo. Bakugo runs towards Deku, and Deku dodges Bakugo's first attack. Bakugo wolfs out and goes for a huge lunge towards Deku. Deku dodges, but Bakugo's way too fast and a lot more faster than Kirishima, and pretty much goes for a swift kick right in the Deku. Deku gets knocked like freaking 20 or 50 feet like into the ground. Like he gets knocked out. Deku, doesn't get knocked out because he's a ghost. He can't really get knocked out. But he gets back up on his feet, and Deku, sees that the Bakugo is about to do, a full-on jump, like supersonic, Hulk, like, dunk on the Deku's body. Deku faces to the ground farther and dodging, Bakugo's attack. Bakugo jumps out of the hole that he made, the crater that he made, kicking Deku into the ground. He starts walking around, sniffing for Deku, not really getting a scent on Deku, but getting a scent on the death that Deku brings, that only werewolves or wolf forms can smell slightly. So Deku, sneaks up behind Bakugo, seemingly, but Bakugo knows he's there and grabs Deku by the head, pretty much chucking him out of the ring. Deku gets the upper hand and flies towards, Bakugo at supersonic speeds, pretty much traveling the speed of light, turning invisible, and also, going crazy. Bakugo can hear him, but he's moving way too fast for him to even, catch him. He's flying and flying and flying and doing quick jabs and kicks, and even pretty much using his telekinesis to throw him down to the ground. Over and over and over again, Deku, just beating the absolute crud out of Bakugo. Bakugo gets upper hand and pretty much grabs Deku by the throat and throws him so hard into the ground that pretty much it actually knocks him out. For 1 second, Deku was back into the graveyard, but he got snapped back into, where he was originally, and Deku, lost because he got hit so hard that his ghost body, his ghost, lost its ghost. Like, what? It was like a ghost inside of a ghost? He hit him so hard that his soul pretty much got punched out of his soul. Like, I don't even know how that even works, but it happened. Deku, loses because seemingly he was out for about 2 hours. And since when Deku's asleep, he can't turn himself invisible or, be, physical, like a human. So Deku pretty much gets grabbed by Kirishima off his, back, and pretty much Kirishima says, "You did a pretty good job," and pretty much, walks off into the bleachers. They get ready for the next match, and Jiro versus Bakugo. Bakugo goes for a huge kick towards Jiro, but Jiro makes a force field out of her, spells, and pretty much Bakugo gets stepped back. Bakugo pretty much, sees this happening and does a sonic clap towards Jiro, knocking her out, because Jiro isn't really, a very skilled witch. Now, Ochako, on the other hand, she's a very skilled witch, but she doesn't know, like, how to turn her magic to 100%. So pretty much, she goes for, a pretty swift kick towards Bakugo, but Bakugo dodges, grabs Ochako by the shoulder, and pretty much chucks her into the ground, knocking her out. Now, for the next match, Bakugo goes up against, Mineta. Mineta goes for, a huge lunge towards Bakugo dodges, Mina's first attack, his ball, and pretty much runs over to him, grabs him by the from pretty much the face, and chucks him out of the ring. Pretty much, Bakugo didn't even need to use his wolf form for that. Just use his normal, you know, untransformated form. So, time and time again, Bakugo wins over and over, and pretty much eventually he comes across, Tokiyami, because Tokiyami in this universe is half Griffin, and Griffins have pretty good magic abilities, and also Griffins can fly, and they have really sharp talons. So, and Griffins, I think, can also use, mind control magic, I think. But yeah, so pretty much, Tatsume goes for, a huge lunge with his talents he has in this universe towards, Bakugo. Bakugo transforms into his wolf form, going for a lunge towards, um, going into a lunge the same time as, you know, Tokiyami. They go for a huge clash, and school ends. Pretty much the match was pretty, long. So basically, they end and they, leave their fight off there. So Deku basically, says that was a pretty good fight, and they go back home after that. So guys, you guys can still decide who should be who, because I really don't know, who I should turn each other into. Now I know it's at least two vampires in class 1A, and three werewolves in class 1A, right? So yeah, see you guys later. Bye, and also, well, deuces, and also have a blessed day, guys. Bye, and Galaxy Universal, XX Galaxy Universal, you are really creative. I actually really like how you requested this, and I think it's my favorite what if I made so far. So yeah, see you guys later. Bye. Deuces, and I'm also gonna be uploading, part, what was it? Sorry guys, I'm going to uploading part 5 or 4 to What If Belle Was a Werewolf. Now that's a what if on a different anime called Is It So Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon. Now that's on Netflix if you want to check it out. So yeah. See you guys later. Bye. Deuces, as always, have a blessed day.